Hey everyone, welcome back. So I'm currently on holiday, a nice little seaside place called Caister. So if you're not from the UK, so I just grabbed myself a biscuit and a coffee. My family have popped out to go swimming. I've forgot my swimming trunks, so as that's still a frowned upon thing for public swimming pools, I figured I'd stay back here and just go through a few pickups that I got. So if those of you who are watching from outside the UK or just not that familiar with geography in the UK like myself, Caister is just on the coast of the UK. There's quite a few little places around here that are really nice. So there's Great Yarmouth, which we went to, and there was a CEX in there. So as much as I should be sightseeing and enjoying the holiday festivities, then I am drawn to a CEX store, especially when you go somewhere that you don't get to go to very often. But yeah, we did the old Sea Life Centre, so that was really nice. And it's been a bit gloomy round for the first couple of days. Like, it's still warm enough, just the sun's sort of like struggling to come out, a bit like today. And we went round the sort of coastline a bit, and there's loads of arcades and amusements. So again, if you're not from the UK, I'll put some maybe a little clip in here just to show you. So yeah, obviously the British coastline is notorious for amusements, arcades, the old 2p machines. We've got fish and chips as well, as you've got to do by the seaside. So yeah, really nice, traditional English, little getaway for a few days. So yeah, when I went to Yarmouth, or we went to Yarmouth, I sort of darted off and popped into a CEX, picked up a few titles I had tagged on the app. And then I also went to, where did we go then? We went again to Norwich. So we went to Norwich. I have been to Norwich before, but not for many, many years. Norwich has got one of the biggest Blu-ray selections, I would say, that I can access, or nearest to me. Whenever I look on the app for certain titles, Norwich always seems to come up with one of the biggest selections. I think they had over 1,700 Blu-ray titles when I looked on the app. So yeah, so there was a few pickings in there. Again, it was sort of the opposite direction to where everyone else in the family was heading. So it took about half an hour just to sort of go off on my own and wander down, find the CEX and have a look inside. I did get a little clip, I think, inside. It was inside the Norwich one. So I'll put that in. So we did visit the castle as well, Norwich Castle. A few little sites in there. I'm not a massive history buff, to be honest, so it was more for the rest of the family than it was for myself. But they had a good time, and a nice place to go. I just think I just went off to the CEX afterwards, grabbed a few titles while they were looking around somewhere else. I think they went to the cathedral, and really, really good. I must have, when I was walking around the Yarmouth one. Great Yarmouth. I think when Google Maps showed me where to go to the CEX, so luckily I was on my own. I thought I knew better than Google Maps, and I went down a few shady alleys, and took my life in my hands. I think there was a few dark corners I shouldn't have gone down. I think there, a few unsavoury characters coming out of alleyways in jogging bottoms and hoodies and bikes, and but made it through. Made it to the CEX unscathed and back out again. A bit of an interesting journey that was. So without further ado, let's just go through what I picked up. So obviously, if you follow the channel for quite regular, I'm on a bit of a kick of 3D movies. So there's quite a few 3D movies in here. There's an Arrow Academy title, I think, towards the end, and an 88 Films title. So the first one, as I'm at Seaside, and I saw it on 3D there, I thought it'd be rude not to. So I got The Meg on 3D. So yeah, Jason Statham movie. I quite like the first one. Second one, I must admit, I didn't enjoy at all. But The Meg on 3D, at the seaside, it just meant to be. Had a slip as well, so you can't grumble. This one, again, I do love this franchise of movies. This is the Paranormal Activity franchise, and this is, to my knowledge, the only 3D one they've done. So the Ghost Dimension, which I think is number 4 or 5, maybe, I lose track of it, came out in 2015. But yeah, I saw that when I saw they'd done a 3D version of Ghost Paranormal Activity, I sort of thought, I'm going to have to get that. And it sits around this price online, I think, but then you normally add a bit of postage on top, so I just thought as I'm going past a store with one in, made sense to pick it up. This is the, I forget which ones come from which store now, so this is the combined 2 stores put together here, all these pickups. So this one is Resident Evil Retribution. So I've heard the Resident Evils, one of these Resident Evil ones is really good in 3D. I can't remember if it's this one or there's another one, I think. But yeah, £4 again, had to slip, but I thought, why not? And the next one here I picked up from a little one, so this is Ice Age 4 in 3D, so we quite like these movies anyway, so just to add another aspect of 3 dimensions to it, seems silly not to for £2. Similar story with this, I'm quite a big fan of the Aardman universe, and that is After Christmas, so I always love this more than I think I do. When I sit down and watch it each Christmas, I do get an extra kick out of it than I expect to. Yeah, I like the animation, like the sort of like modernised story of it. But again, never seen it in the 3D format. Now this one I think I picked up mostly because, well, a few reasons really. Pretty sure it's Jordon over at Movie Worm / Movie Squirm, who was doing a Sam Raimi re-watch of all his titles quite recently, and he mentioned on a video that he watched this one and had a bit more of a better time with it on second viewing. I think that's what he said anyway, Jordon, if you're watching. Yeah, and I thought, you know what, I might give this another go, especially in the 3D format. And that is Oz, Great and the Powerful, so a Sam Raimi movie, which I've seen Wicked and the second Wicked movie as well, Wicked for Good. So with that more fresh in my mind, now the ability to use the sort of 3D format, thought it might be interesting to check that one out, give it a rewatch, see if it holds up any better. So a Tim Burton classic for me that again I just figured I want to see it in the 3D format here, and that is The Nightmare Before Christmas. So again, £5 for this is pretty reasonable, because I think again online you can probably pick it up similar price, but we've got a little bit of postage, see if it jumps up. Speaking of jumping up, this is one that's a little bit scarcer online from what I could see, and that is Jumper 3D. So I quite like this movie on 2D, watched it a few times over the years. So again, just this type of movie would probably lend itself quite well to 3D, I would have thought, but not seen it as yet. So if anyone's seen the 3D format of Jumper, let me know. But yeah, quite enjoy that movie anyway. So this one here is The Amazing Spider-Man. So that is again the 3D version of that one. So again, another thing, I think it would lend itself quite well to the 3D format, just because it's got web and sort of like buildings and lots of scope that you can use the 3D format for, hopefully quite well. And obviously nice 3D slip on there, or a little bit of a embossed or debossed slip anyway. That's quite nice, £2.50. I've heard this one is actually really good in 3D, the 3D parts of it, and I quite like the film. So this is the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, really nice lenticular. Don't think it's coming out as well as it does in real life on there, but £2 with a slip. Why wouldn't I? And then we go to the Arrow, so I think Arrow Academy, this one. So I read the synopsis of this one, it just sounded so weird, I had to pick it up for £3. So it's zoology. So yeah, zoology. I think the basic premise is, so it's a foreign movie. It mixes deadpan humour with an examination of social issues, including loneliness and ageing. So there's basically this girl who works at a zoo where her female co-workers take pleasure from making fun of her. She lives with a God-fearing mother and leads a dull existence without prospects, until one day she grows a tail. So medical examinations follow up where she meets Peter, a young radiologist, and her dreary life is turned upside down. So yeah, someone who's grown a tail. Now there's a bit of a hint to that under the sticker there. So yeah, it just seemed weird. It's not animation, it's just the alternative cover I flipped. So the cover you might have seen before or know before is more of that one. So I've just flipped the artwork. Can't show the bottom of that, I don't think. So yeah, that'll be an interesting watch. And then this one I saw on the app, and I do have this movie, but I got the old release of it. And 88 Films put it out, and I really liked the artwork a lot more on the 88 Films. And the app showed this version, which I'll put a little clip in, which is the older version for a £4. And I thought, if I get in there and I'll have a quick look, if it turns out to be the re-release by 88 with a slipcover for £4, there's no way I'm leaving that there. And my lucky day was certainly there, because when I went in, it was the 88 films release, had the slipcover, really nice condition. That is Vertical Limit. So yeah, sort of an early 2000s sort of disaster movie where these like people go up the mountain. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember this being quite, you know, palm sweating and feet sweating, as Lisa was speaking about a few videos back on her channel from Lisa Loves. So yeah, and if you're not a fan of heights like me, this will probably get to you. So yeah, people falling off of, you know, cliffs and stuff like that. But I just thought the artwork on this looked really nice glossy sort of finish on the front there. So yeah, £4, definitely picking that one up. So that was it. That was just a quick sort of 10-15 minute video showing what I picked up on holiday, and you know, a few little clips in there probably of where I've been, what I've been up to. Not sure when the video go out. I might drop it now, I might drop it next week, who knows. But yeah, thanks for watching everybody, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, bye.